Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. In this session, I'm going to talk about modern data protection with HPE and Rubrik. I have received a couple of questions from our subscribers, so I consolidated all those questions and included few important points. That is our today's agenda. So the key point here is how we're going to protect our modern data with HPE and Rubrik. So here is the agenda. Modern data protection, what is the main common customer challenges and solution, and how HPE and Rubrik cloud data management is different from traditional backup solutions, and what are the key principles of modern data protection, and we can also verify the difference between traditional and also the HP and Rubrik's zero trust architecture, and what is the main platform support for the HP and Rubrik solutions, and is the ransomware going away or not? But definitely the answer is no. And how what is the approach to protect the ransomware with the traditional architecture, and we'll also discuss about how does Rubrik protect the backup data from ransomware, and Rubrik on HPE, what is the most common use cases, and also what are the HPE solutions for Rubrik, and finally what is the latest server for cloud native applications. Okay, so let's start with the first point, customer challenges. So in our most common customer challenges are IT teams spend more valuable time managing the backup jobs for hundreds of applications. Like suppose daily we are receiving some daily backup report, and we need to validate all the virtual machines and also our physical workloads, applications, whether all the backup is success or not. Normally our teams are spending more time to work on your failure backups. That is a one common challenge. And another one, unstructured data is difficult to index and lifecycle manage. And normally to find out your indexing, like our textbooks have a index page. Similarly, all our regular backups, weekly backups, monthly and yearly backup, we should also maintain a index. But that is a unstructured data. It's a difficult to manage the index, and also the life cycle manage. Life cycle means it's nothing but our updates and upgrades. So this is the one of the common challenges. And another point is too many applications go unprotected. Normally if the applications where backup is success means it's considered as a protected, and too many applications go unprotected means there is a applications backup is going fail. So application can be either web applications or any of the project related applications, anything. And nowadays application structure also change from monolithic to tier based, and tier based to change it to the microservices like container based applications. So any of the applications, if it is backup is not going successfully means it's unprotected. And also our existing backup tools in general, it's supported for our physical server backup, virtual machines backup. Virtual machine means either it is a hypervisor ESXi created virtual machine, or Red Hat virtual machine, or it will be a Microsoft Hyper-V virtual machine. Any of the virtual machines we can able to take the backup using the existing backup tools. But if your application structure is changed from the tier based to the microservices like container based application, some of the backup tools are not supported to take the backup of containerized applications. So that is the key point here. So how our backup tool is supported for all the solutions like your physical servers, virtual machines, and also the container applications. That point only we are going to discuss today. Okay. And another key point is recovery success is uncertain, and the restore times are too long. Even if your production server's data is close to 100 TB, if you want to restore your data, in general, all the other third-party backup tools restoration may take longer time. But how effectively will provide the solutions with HP and Rubrik, we'll discuss now. So the solution Rubrik on HPE ProLiant, we have a main servers are two servers, HPE ProLiant DL360 and DL380. These two are the commonly used for the Rubrik software solution. And if you want to install the Rubrik, the preferred HPE ProLiant models are these two models. On top of these two models, you can run the Rubrik software, and then we'll find the key features of searchable. As I mentioned, the customer is, it is a indexing is one of the key challenge, but the Rubrik is providing a global search option. It's like a Google's like search option, and also the policy driven and orchestration is enabled. If the orchestration is enabled, the key benefit is, even if you want to do a automation of your disaster recovery exercises using the orchestration, we can automate those exercises, annual or off yearly exercises. And secure accessibility, your backups are always securely accessible. We can also configure a multi-factor authentication for secure accessing, so that it will be protected from our any of the ransomware or vulnerabilities. Okay. And in addition, some other key points are, HP and Rubrik have worked together to validate the deployment of Rubrik Cloud Data Management. In short form, we call it as RCDM, and software onto the HPE ProLiant server platforms. So with Rubrik, enterprise built on HPE technology can deliver near zero recovery times and accelerate the application development and unlock the actionable insights on operational efficiency and compliance via custom reporting software onto HPE. This custom reporting will help you to segregate what are all the backups are success and what all the backups are running failed, or what is the backups are missed. All these points we can verify from our custom reporting. Okay. And Rubrik is on HPE virtual OEM partner and providing end-to-end data management for HPE ProLiant servers, and users can securely access data instantly and automate protection policies and orchestrate data across multi-cloud environments. So this rubric is supported not only for your on-premises, it will supported for a multi-cloud environment. Suppose your production workloads running on a private cloud and public cloud, and if you have a multiple clouds in your organization, this software is more suitable to take the backup anywhere in your data. Wherever your data, we can easily take the protect using a Rubrik software on HPE ProLiant servers. Okay. Now, the next point is how HP and Rubrik cloud data management is different from a traditional backup solutions. So the same question. So how HP and Rubrik cloud data management is different from traditional backup solution. This point I will let me explain in detail. Let's say traditional backup architecture, let's divide it into a three types. Normally layer 1, layer 2, layer 3 is the common structure, and to manage these three layers we also require another layer, layer 0. It is called as a management. So I repeat, layer 0 is a 4 layers totally. Layer 0 is management layer, layer 1 is control plane, and layer 2 is data mover, and layer 3 is a agents. So this is a common traditional backup architecture. Now I am going to highlight only the key components, okay, with interest of our time. So in our layer 1 control plane, we have main components are master servers. For our backup, we have a master servers, scheduled backups, and catalog. This is the main items in the control plane. And data mover means it is nothing but a storage. Our all our production servers and also the backup media servers require a additional storage. That storage can be local attached storage, that means DAS, direct attached storage, or network attached storage, or any of the storage area network. That is also required for data mover layer. And we also need for our traditional backup, if you want to take the backup of your physical servers or any of the respective applications backup, the recommendation from traditional backup is we have to install the agents. Whatever server count you have, your infrastructure size is small, medium, large. Based on your infrastructure size, we have to install the backup agent software on all the workloads. That is a recommendation. That means uh, there is some issues in our layer 3. Suppose any of the agent versions are running with a lower version, so there may be a chances of backup failure or backup performance may be degraded. Instead of taking 1 hour to complete the backup, it may take more than 1 hour, so performance will be degraded. That is a main challenges in layer 3. When comes to layer 2 data mover, even the media servers require some additional storages. Whenever any of the storage is full, there is some additional challenges when we plan to do some maintenance on a storage level. So that means it will be impacted to your entire backup cycle. And even the layer one control plane also, any one of the master server is down, there is a chances of backup failures, and we need to resolve rectify the issue. Until they resolve the master server issue, the entire backup cycles will be in a hold or pass state. That is the challenges in layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. And now when comes to the management layer, even in order to manage all your production workloads backup, we have to use some backup tool, and also we need to prepare some reporting. Either you can use a default reporting or prepare a custom reporting, and also the indexing. Even within the layer 0 also, in our traditional backups, there is some backup tools are providing a integrated capabilities. Some backup tools there is no integrated capabilities. We have to use a some external third party tools to provide a effective management like monitoring, reporting, and indexing. So these are all the most common challenges in traditional backup architecture. Even the layers also, the infrastructure size also very high. But when comes to the modern data protection, this architecture is very challenging to manage. So to address these challenges, how our HPE and Rubrik jointly collaborate and enhance the solution called cloud data management. That cloud data management solution is completely simplified solution. This solution, we just need a hardware. Either you can use any of the HPE ProLiant server. On top of the HPE hardware, you can configure your software defined software, that is a Rubrik Cloud Data Management software. When you install a Rubrik Cloud Data Management software, and it will provide you to support for all your production workload, and specifically to the cloud native applications, and also we have a facility to do scale out. Whenever if you want to enhance your capacity, it's easy to enhance your capacity, and also during the maintenance there will be no impact to your existing backups. So that means compared to traditional backup architecture, even using the HP and Rubrik cloud data management architecture, the complete it's simplified architecture, easy management. So HP and Rubrik better together. And even if you see the architecture also, we no need a number of media servers, we no need additional, all these things are completely simplified, and we can management using a single console. Okay. Now, before understanding some more additional features of traditional backup architecture and Rubrik CDM architecture, let me explain you a few key principles. Okay. What are the key principles of modern data protection? This modern data protection, we have a main key principles includes like air gap, immutability, zero trust. These three principles we keep hearing these days. Okay, let me elaborate these three keywords. See, what are the key principles of modern data protection? One is air gap, and the second one is immutability, and third one is zero trust. And let's understand how the rubric is work in these three principles. Suppose if you see in the logical functionality like air gap logical. Suppose when we are seeing a modern data protection using the rubric solution, see the air gap is function as a logical. That means backups are offline. So backups are offline means even in our any of the external hackers or any of the vulnerability to attack your backup data is completely in a offline state. So that means it's a completely protected data. Suppose if your airbag status is none, that means backups are online. Whenever any virus threat protection or any virus are affected to your production data, similarly it will also affect it to your backup data as well. If your production data, backup data both are affected, there is no use of using a backup software. So that is the reason our rubric solution is function like a logical air gap. So that means once the backup is completed, backup is completely in a offline state. So that any external hackers or any of the external ransomware or spyware, there is no chance of affecting to your backup data. That's how it's protecting your modern data. And another key principle is immutability. Immutability is nothing but a cannot be edited. Even once your backup is completed, it's completely locked. There is no chance of editing your backup data. So this is also one of the key principle to protecting your modern data. So cannot be edited is nothing but a immutable. Suppose if your data can be edited, that is nothing but a mutable. Okay, and another key principle is zero trust. Zero trust means never trust, always verify. That means once your backup is completed, it's always verify all your data whether there is any of the issues in your existing backup data. If there is no issues, then only it will keep that backup as a air gap logical, and it will make it as a immutability, so cannot be edited. Suppose if you know traditional architecture, how it will be is trust but verify. It will be like a default trust and it will verify, but that is not recommended. Always recommended is zero trust. So hope you understand the modern data protection key principles. I repeat: air gap, immutability, and zero trust. So using these keywords, now we can understand the some more additional differences between traditional and modern data protection solution. So the here a point is traditional architecture, HP and Rubrik, zero trust architecture. So just now we discussed zero trust means it's completely never trust, always verify architecture. So here in our traditional architecture, backups can be accessed, modified, and deleted from the network. So that means this is no use of taking the traditional architecture backup. When comes to the latest solution, immutable backups, that means cannot be edited, backups cannot be modified and completely encrypted, and anything using standard storage protocol is vulnerable. And when comes to the zero trust architecture, no storage online on or on the network, that means completely protected. And no air gap, backups are online in a traditional architecture. When comes to zero trust architecture, logical air gap, backups are offline, and it will be accessible only through multi-factor authentication, in short form MFA. And major attack is an unrecoverable event. But when comes to zero trust architecture, major attack is now a recoverable event. Okay, this is the main differences between traditional architecture and zero trust architecture. Now let's talk about HP and Rubrik comprehensive platform support. What are all the main platforms this solution is supported? See, the common supported solutions are virtual workloads, if we can able to take backup, physical workloads, NoSQL workload, cloud plus software as a service. When comes to the virtual platform, within the virtual platform, these three platforms are supported: VMware ESXi and Nutanix AHV, Acropolis Hypervisor, and Microsoft Hyper-V. So if your production, any of your customer is running with ESXi, AHV, or Hyper-V, this joint solution is supported. And physical, suppose if your physical environment have MySQL, PostgreSQL, network attached storage, Oracle database, SAP HANA, Epic, Linux, and Microsoft SQL Server, AX, Unix, Linux, and Windows. All these platforms, our backup solution is supported. Rubrik solution is compatible. And NoSQL means Cassandra and MongoDB. These two also we can able to take the backup. And cloud plus SaaS, software as a service. Nowadays, most common public cloud popular one is AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. These three are the most popular public cloud softwares. This from these three public cloud, if your virtual instances, we can able to take the backup. And also, if you have a SaaS platform like Office 365 is the SaaS platform, you can able to take your backup of your SaaS platform data also. And also similarly to Oracle Cloud also, we can it's supported for Oracle Cloud as well. Okay, so this is the comprehensive platform support. Now let's talk about the another point: is ransomware going away? Definitely the answer is no, because now and then we are receiving the newses and saying that some of the companies or some of the protection data is affecting with ransomware, and the customers are paying the ransom to recover. Some customer they can manage to recover using their backup tools, but some customers still facing the issue and unable to recover their data, and they are paying the ransoms to the hackers. Okay, now we'll observe ransomware with the traditional architecture and how the ransomware protected with zero trust architecture. So let's talk about the ransomware with the traditional architecture first. Within the ransomware with the traditional architecture, ransomware locks down the data. This is the first step. How we identified ransomware affected to the production data is it will locks down data. And then note received. So customers will receive the ransom note, and we have only two options. Option one, pay the ransoms to the hacker, and option two, attempt to recover. This is the two options we have. So most of the time the customers may engage immediately your RT operations team, so restore from the backup data, and engaging the IT operations team, and also engaging the security operations team. So when they engage in these two departments, they will try to perform the forensics test, and the backups are safeguarded or not, and what data can be recovered, how long, weeks or months. Suppose if your data is taking longer time to recover, the only solution is we have to pay the ransom. That is a one scenario. And another scenario is within the option two, when we are trying to attempt to recover, if we are trying to recover the data, suppose your traditional data is completely not an immutable facility, it's a mutable. That means it can be editable. And also there is no facility of air gap. There is no air gap means definitely the backups are compromised. So during this scenario also we have to pay the ransoms to hackers. So this is the challenges in the traditional architecture. Now let's talk about how does Rubrik protect the backups from ransomware. So in this scenario, same let's say for example ransomware locks down the production data. Ransom note we received, and we have a two options. Option one, pay the ransom, and option two, attempt to recover. So when we are before attempting to recover, again we commonly engage our internal team, then we engage the IT operations team and security operations team, and enable the cross team collaboration. So jointly together we will verify backups are safeguarded or not. Definitely when we are using a Rubrik zero trust architecture, backups are safeguarded. With this safeguarded backup, the scope of attack, we need to identify which scope is attacked. Attack is completely IT infrastructure, or it's attacked only for the some layer. So first identify the attack surface, and then discover your sensitive data and recover fast. So that's how we can recover using HP and Rubrik zero trust architecture. We no need to pay the ransoms to the hackers. So there is official note from Rubrik side, don't pay the ransom. So with the Rubrik Zero Trust data management, keeps your data safe from ransomware, so you don't have to pay the ransom. Okay, this information I collected from the Rubrik website. Okay, now let's talk about Rubrik on HPE use cases. So use cases mainly whatever we talk about the comprehensive platform support. All this comprehensive platform support individually we consider each one as a use case. So because some customers may not use all use cases, few customers may use definitely few use cases when they are running the Rubrik software on HPE platform. So one of the use cases simplified data backup and recovery, and that means it's a normal traditional same like traditional, but only difference in Rubrik is it's a air gap logical, immutability facility, and also it's a zero trust architecture. And second scenario is VMware vSphere VMs backup, replication and disaster recovery. It's supported for three scenarios. And if you have any of your customer is using vCloud Director vApps, for this one also we can able to take the backup. Okay, and the fourth use case is Microsoft Hyper-V VMs backup, replication, and DR exercises. Similarly, another virtual platform, Nutanix AHV VMs backup, replication, and DR exercises. And similarly, if you have any of the physical workloads like Linux and Unix host and apps, it will be supported. And same way, if you have Windows physical host and also the application, and Windows means it's not only for a normal Windows physical server, it will also support it for your Microsoft clustering service as well. And NAS share, if you have any of your traditional NAS shares, network attached storage backup, all your file shares also using Rubrik on HPE, we can able to take the backup, replication, and DR exercises. And similarly to the database platforms like SQL Server database and Oracle DB, managed volumes, and also the most common latest today, all the applications are moving into a microservice based application, which is Kubernetes and data protection. So even this solution is supported for Kubernetes and data protection. And another use case are VMware Tangi Kubernetes integration. So Tangi is one of the enterprise Kubernetes platform. So we can able to take the backup for Tanzu as well. And Red Hat OpenShift integration also supported. Even if your applications running in a Red Hat OpenShift container platform, those application workloads also we can able to take the backup. And continuous data protection facilities available, and also the Rubrik accelerate the global data protection recovery compliance. Even all the security compliance it will supported. And orchestrated app recovery, that means this is mainly to use for a, if you are any of your cyber attacks, using orchestrated app recovery we can able to recover very fast. When comes to traditional architecture, recover may take weeks and months time, but in the when comes to the Rubrik on HPE, recovery is very faster. And accelerate ransomware recovery. Obviously, one of the main use cases, Rubrik on HPE is supported for ransomware recovery. And Rubrik Cloud Vault, it's a REST easy with isolated offsite cloud archival and holistic cloud native protection. Even your cloud native applications, it's completely protected. And wherever your cloud native application running, whether it is in a private cloud or public cloud, it is compatible. And archive, we can able to archive your data to any of your public cloud like Azure you can do, and you can do it to the archive to your data to AWS S3, and you can also do it to your GCP, Google Cloud Platform. And also not only these three public cloud, you can able to archive your data to Cloudian Object Store. This is also supported. And another use cases are archive to scalable scality and online Rubrik cluster upgrade. Even the Rubrik cluster, if you want to upgrade also, minimum requirement for Rubrik cluster is 3 nodes. If you want to upgrade any of the Rubrik cluster, there will be no impact to your existing workloads and the existing backup schedules. We can do it one by one. So that it's a completely online Rubrik cluster upgrade without interrupting to your backup data. And object storage S3 is compatible. Not only limited to these 27 use cases, there are plenty of use cases. So until then, we covered the most of the common use cases, which includes on-premises, private cloud, public cloud. Okay, that is the beauty of Rubrik on HPE. And what are the HPE solutions for Rubrik? So that point we can discuss now. So the HPE solutions for Rubrik, mainly when comes to the server platform, we have a four models. You can use Rubrik software as a virtual edition, or you can use the Rubrik as single node for Robo. Robo means remote office, branch office, and we can also use small physical cluster. Like you can start with a minimally 3 physical nodes, and these 3 physical nodes run with a Rubrik cloud data management software. And another scenario is medium physical cluster. Suppose if I'm using a virtual edition, that is like a completely software model. Excuse me. It's like a complete software model, and 1 to 3 node virtual instances of Rubrik platform you can run using a Hyper-V single node only or ESXi. And ideally for a enterprise customers looking for a virtualized backup solution. Some customer, they instead of using a physical architecture, they want to use a virtualized backup solution. So during that scenario, we'll go with a virtual edition. And another option is single node robo. Single node robo means you can use for a this generally this solution is more suitable for a remote office and branch offices, and dedicatedly for 1U DL360 edge appliance. And normally the data is supported for 10 to 15 terabytes of data, and air gapped completely, it's a air gapped backup. And also ideally to eliminate the dependency on hypervisor. If suppose if you don't want any dependency on hypervisor, during that scenario you can go with this solution. Okay. And another two solutions are small physical cluster and medium physical cluster. When you are using a small physical cluster, so HP ProLiant DL360 based clusters, and the minimum raw capacity is 36 terabyte and with 3 nodes. When it comes to medium physical cluster, the size will be increased and server model also changed to ProLiant DL380, and the minimum capacity is 144 terabyte raw capacity with 3 nodes. And these nodes we can, if you want to increase based on your infrastructure size, it's possible to increase your infrastructure size. And ideal for customers who require a solution capable of supporting 10 to 100 plus terabytes of backup data, where resiliency and high availability is a must. During that scenario, we'll go with any of this solution. So depends on your infrastructure size and data, you can go with either small physical cluster or medium physical cluster. Okay, so this is how we can use the solutions in the real world scenarios. Okay, and now one common questions from one of our subscribers is they're asking for any of the latest model available for with high cores, and it specifically support for cloud native applications. Yes, there is a recently HPE has released a new model. That new model name is HPE ProLiant RL300 generation 11. This generation 11, this next generation of compute from HPE for cloud native applications. This cloud native applications, it's mainly comes with a one socket and more cores. That means it's a 128 cores, so with less power, and it's a predictable performance and flexible management. You can manage using HPE ILO integrated light source. And also suppose for the open source environments, you can use OpenBMC tool, and it's mainly designed, this model is for cloud native workloads like web servers, in-memory caching, media encoding and database. Okay, so that's it for today. Today I covered mainly the modern data protection, the joint solutions of HP and Rubrik. Hope this information is helpful for you and I answered all your questions. Okay, and if you have any other questions, please drop me an email. I will address in the next session. Okay, so thanks for your time, and please do view, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you as always for your support. Bye for now.